Hey, good morning, everybody. What is this? Monday, March 14th, 2022. How's everybody doing today? And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I really, really, really do. Morning, RV, Julie, Ron, Dan. Is it Lucho? Sorry if I destroyed your name there, Lucho. To your question, is there a date for the 3/8 trap class? That is a 3/8 trap. It's not a live class. It is recorded, and all the materials come with it, so you can actually download it and study it anytime you want, as many times as you want. I hope that answered your question there. Good morning, Carol, Chuck. Hey, Bob. Dad, John, how's it going? Glad to have everybody here. Okay, so big week, right? We've got the Fed maybe quarter point rise this week, Wednesday. So maybe the market sort of grapples with that and then makes good with it. Honestly, I would be surprised if the market hasn't already figured that into the whole scenario. To be truthful, the Fed's been saying they're going to raise it, and I guess the big question is it going to be a quarter point or half a point? With the current condition around the world right now, my bet it's going to be a quarter point. The big news, I guess, is still Russia and Ukraine, and that's going to continue to weigh on this market until there is something solved, or something. Something's got to come together there, where the market and the world in general is relatively happy as it can possibly be. So as long as that's still out there, the market is still going to be a little bit choppy. Overall, speaking of the market, overall, you can clearly see that the SPY is clearly in a downtrend outside of price action pops and pops and drops. So price action, we might see some pops in price action, drops in price action, but overall, it is clearly in a downtrend. For those that don't know, this is just simply a chart without any candlesticks on it or price on it. The red dots represents the Trendicator, the white line represents the T line, and the yellow line represents the 3 EMA here, and clearly in a downtrend. In a for bearish, this is a perfect world. This is a perfect world, in my opinion. When we have everything leading to the downside, everything meaning the Trendicator or the overall trend, whether you use the Trendicator or not, the overall trend is leading to the downside. T-lines underneath the trend, and price continues to break below the T-line down here. So that's a perfect scenario for a bearish setup. A perfect scenario for a bullish setup would be something like this right here. When whoops, it's not quite what I wanted. Let's pull this out. There we go. Perfect scenario for the bullish side would be when the Trendicator or the trend starts rising. The 3 is above the T line, and the T line is above. I use the Trendicator an awful lot, or simply above the trend. That would be the perfect bullish scenario as far as a trend goes. There certainly are trades that can be had, those quick pops. You just got to be sure that's really what you want to go after. And I don't expect this week to be a great deal different than last week. We'll certainly be able to find long trades. There are some people that are just bound and determined to trade long. And, many times you're right. Many. Just remember that with the weight of the market, that little pop might be short-lived. So profits need to be relatively quick on that, okay? Relatively quick here. Okay, let's take a look at some charts here. Here's, we're back. Whoops, let's go to this chart. Now, while we're here real quick, for whatever it's worth, this is the 500 front-weighted moving average right here. And back here on the 24th, this is when we put this big piercing candle in, we rallied up. And you can see that we're holding above that. If we break below, then what I'm looking for is the 500-day period moving average down here to get tagged, or at least, you know, tested, maybe close to it. So watching for a breakdown here. All right, now let's go to this chart here. Okay, so you can see this morning we've got, when you got up this morning, if you check the futures, you can see that the futures are up a little bit. Just keep in mind that's not a, you know, that's you got to be careful with that. Those early moves. The reality is that the easier money, the smarter money will be made once we prove we can be in a trend. And right now, what I'm looking at is above 441.20. Yep, that means giving up a lot of this. It does. But if this happens right here, what'll happen is you've got your low, your high. We'll call this the higher low because that's what we see in the chart so far. And if we can break out here, this becomes the tradable bottom. Now we have a chance to challenge some of these tops up here. But while we're in this trend, there's just no chance of challenging those tops. No chance whatsoever. Best we can hope for, you know, grab some bullishness and maybe a little pop here. Otherwise, watch for the rise, and then we'll watch for the setup for the short side. Let's see here. APPH, AP for a long. I've got some longs and shorts here because there's both sides. You know, we're going to see some long positions working out, and you're certainly going to see some short positions working out. APPH is setting up, and you can see how that trend has changed in here. We've clearly gone from a downtrend. There's your downtrend, and now we've turned it up to an uptrend here. The uptrend also has a series of lows and highs, higher lows, higher highs, and that's what you're looking for in a trend. As we pull back or break out, we're looking for that entry pocket. Everybody's entry pocket might be a little bit different. Mike there, his entry pocket might be slightly different. Gregor's entry pocket might be slightly different. Not everybody's exactly the same. So with APPH, it's a simple, you know, if you do decide to trade something like that, we're going to move up here to maybe about 685-ish. We'll look at this top and these lows for a target area. Depending on where it's entered, that's a huge amount, 37%. Don't let that go to your head, though. Remember, if it starts to the downside, it can be just as painful as it is feeling good going up. And make sure those charts are doing what you want them to do. You know, come to you. Don't get in there just because of fear of missing out. Hertz is another long trade, but you know, I don't like Hertz down here. I like Hertz up here. So if you just take a look at Hertz, here we've you know, we opened up on Hertz, and then we put in a bottom up, put in a bottom up, and then we broke through this bottom. And then down here, we put in a bottom, we put in a top, which was about the previous bottom. Put in another bottom, we're about that previous top or bottom. Put in another bottom, and here we are, just about that previous bottom right here. So what I'm liking is maybe put this on the watch list, wait till we rise up, and then look for the chart setup up here. If you don't understand what the chart setup or the entry, please ask in the room today, okay? Please ask. Net might be a short setup. You can see the 50-period moving average is trending down. You can see that we have a double top, There we go. And double top, and well, I probably should have done this earlier. Put a line across here like that. So anything below Friday's low, I'll look at the short side, and we'll look to challenge this bottom over here and possibly lower, in a really good scenario would be we actually come up and get closer up here to maybe a blue ice failure or a bounce off the Trendicator or the T-line that gives us a better entry and a little more profit to the downside. XRT, excuse me, XRT is still a short setup. While there's, a beautiful candle over here, I get it, I see it. The fact is we haven't broken out of that trend. If you're looking for that long trade, this is where I just absolutely feel we've got to have the patience as a trader. Successful traders have this patience. They'll sit back and they'll wait, and they see that when the market turns, and the market will turn. Okay, we're not going to be in this destructive downtrend forever. It just doesn't work that way. There will be problems solved, and the market will look upon that as a positive note at some point. Until then, though, I think it's best that we respect the market moving down. Okay, back to that long side. If you're looking at this, I mean, XRT, again, it will go up. But what we want to do, really, the successful trader, the smart trader, the trader that's been around for 10 years, and by the way, if a trader's been around for 10 years, they have figured out what hurts. They have figured out what hurts, and they have figured out what works. So the thing is, wait for that to turn. Wait for that to turn. Wait for multiple days up, 10, even 20 days of the trend change. And then from there, we'll just extend that, something like that. And then from there, now we can trade with our buy pockets. Whether your buy pocket is I'll do this. Whether your buy pocket is in this area here or at the breakout area, here. But allow that to turn, or wait for any charts that have done that. To the short side, we're in this downtrend wedge here. It appears that the buyers are holding it up here. But that argument could have been made up here, could have been made here, could have been made here, could have been made here. And until that trend has changed, I think we should look at more downside until it changes. So an ideal entry for this, for me, would be in this area right here, or a breakdown of the bearish engulf that was put in on Friday. If we come down, and find support, say on those lows, we will see that in the chart, and we'll be able to take either profits or continue to hold, depending on your trade rules. And the same thing if we come down into this area here, we'll be able to take profits or just walk out of the trade. Excuse me. Car last week, I know several people that traded car and made a ton of money. And I'm not looking at car right now for a buy. I'm looking at car for the watch list. And what I would like to see is one of two things happen. One, break out and trade it up here. That's what I would like to see. That's one of two. We're going to look at the other one. So what I would like is to pop up and then do what I like to see for an entry for me. Mike there, or Bill, or Bob. You guys might like something else for an entry. I'm going to look for that breakout, that pullback, and those buyers to step in. So like a 3/8 trap, bounce off the T-line, bounce off the Trendicator maybe, or even a 3/8 trap breakout is what I'll be looking for. Sorry, my voice is starting to go already. The other scenario that I would look at this is if it pulls back. Because if it pulls back, then here we have, we'll start here, low to a high, to a higher low, to a higher high. If it pulls back and gives us a higher low and then a buy signal, I think that would be a handsome swing trade up to about 237. Walmart might be set up for a long trade. For those that are in it, and I do think there's quite a few people in this, bought it last week, congratulations. I think it's terrific. Truthfully, I'm going to wait till it moves up here. So this is what I want on the watch list up here. Hey, somebody just reminded me. I forgot to mention here. I should have mentioned it out earlier this morning. A couple of things. If you're not doing anything, join me at 11:45 Eastern today in the live trading alerts room. We're going to look at scans and chart setups. And also, I know that the right way options people are here in the hit run candlestick room. If I post anything to the hit run candlestick members to the alert, I will also post in the right way options. Had somebody ask me about that right now, so that's why I had reminded me to do that. Thank you very much. Okay. Starbucks is a short. Yes, Friday we were watching Starbucks and we had one of our scans set up to show us candlestick signals failing a moving average, and Starbucks was one of those coming up on that. And you can see Starbucks is a little lower today, pre-market here. Well, Starbucks has got a what we would call a rising method, and that's a bearish setup. That was bearish when we came through this 84.40 area. So yes, Friday we had bearish follow through from 84.40, and then this morning we're seeing that as well. So for those that got into that short, congratulations. Remember to take some profits on the way down. It's always a smart thing to do. ON is a short. ON is a blue ice failure up here. Nice blue ice failure up here. We've also got a bearish H pattern setting up. And we have that bearish engulf here that's failing the T-line and the Trendicator. Right now, I'm looking at a retest of about 51.15, reevaluate at that level. Man, I can clearly see how this could come down to 48 bucks down here. CRISP. If someone's looking for a long, CRISP, CRSP might be one. If you like these kind of charts, a biotech, healthcare biotech chart. We've got a low, a high, a higher low. We made it to a higher high, hit the 50 period moving average and pulled back. Perfect. I love it when that happens. I like it when that happens because it lets me know that the chart is obeying moving averages, and I like that. We've got a little pop out of the box setting up here. So let's just do that right there. There we go. Little pop out of the box setting up. If we break out over the 50 period moving average, that's going to set this up as I believe it is. Let me double check here. Yeah, that'll set this up as a rounded bottom breakout. And then a couple of targets that I have up here is about 69.30 and about 77.40. CHPT might be setting up for that long trade. This is another one that I know that several people are in. Some got out Friday, but I know that several people have made good money on this. This is a rounded bottom breakout right now. And here it's pulling back. I'll watch for that pullback, for that entry. I'll look for that entry and then take that swing to the upside, providing the chart continues to look like it might swing to the upside. And as a reminder, Any trades taken or adjusted, we'll post them on the members app, those both HRC and right way options. URA, possible long setup. Need to wait for that candle to give us a signal. I'm looking at this as a possible long because of the bottom we have here. And then let's just put a line about right here. And from there, you can see how the trend kind of kicked off. Bullish engulf up, pull back to the 50-period moving average, rallied up, and here we're pulling back. There's your trend right there. Now we're just simply waiting for price to tell us it's ready to go back up, and we'll watch for those bullish signals in there. That'll give us the clue for a possible buy. The inverse ETFs, these are an amazing tool for those that don't short, for those that can't short. The inverse ETF is truly an amazing tool. So if you're, say you're looking at the Qs here, and if you see the Qs going down, and maybe you can't afford $325 chart. I get that, okay? I believe me, a lot of people can't. That's a lot of money. Well, if you can't afford that, or you can't short for whatever reason, then something like SQQ might be that answer. Because by trading this long, what you're really doing is trading the Qs to the downside. So, what was it, $300 and some versus $48 is a huge difference. You've got a bullish engulf here. Looks like we're playing around with those tops this morning, an inside day. And we have a trend still working here. So whether you're trading long or whether you're trading short, waiting for the trend to establish is probably one of the most important and key aspects to trading that you can possibly come up with on your trade plan. Trade with the trend. What else do I have down here? One more, and we're all done. 13 of them today. Take a look at Clove. We talked about Clove last week. We've got a low, high, higher low. Clove is a rounded bottom breakout, so that's a strategy in itself. And now we're looking for that 3/8 trap. And let's just call that the 3 EMA right there. So if, where's this at? There we go. So if we start to see buyers start coming in here or break out of the 3/8 trap, you can see how this chart, how that might look. And that sets us up for moving higher up in there. So this is why we want to wait for that setup. Whether you're looking long or whether you're looking short, want to wait for that price action to move into your pocket. Double check your trades. Be sure you want to trade that trade. Keep your risk small. Very important right now is keep your risk small. All right, everybody, I'm going to wind this up. I'll see everybody here in just a few minutes for the when the market opens up. All righty. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate it.